Hello and good morning, everyone. Today we'll be talking to you about. Hello again. This is Eric, and I will be discussing with you a little bit about the world of international management. In the world of international management, there are a lot of issues that hover around management and the corporations. Some of our findings include environmental changes that range from culture, markets, and technology. Also included are the roles of a manager that deal with the competitors, employees, and stakeholders. Hello, everyone, and in this slide, we'll be talking about functions of social media used as an organizing tool. Facebook is used all over the globe and is active by more than 2 billion people every month. In addition, you don't have to be a member to view profiles inside Facebook. And although you can activate private mode on your profile, you may still find anyone you want and anyone you're looking for. Unfortunately, terrorism has been a recent issue with social media, and Facebook is one of their tools. Terrorists conspire, plan, plot, and post for their message to get across to the younger demographic in hopes of spreading propaganda. Another social media platform used is WhatsApp. And here are more uses of social media done by terrorism. ISIS, for example. In this slide, we will be discussing. Being that social media is so enormously utilized by humanity for good and bad, brings us to the question, should humanity be constrained? I will now be discussing the ideologies discussed in this chapter.
Thank you, Eric. In the next few slides, we will be discussing political change, namely democracy and totalitarianism. Also, we will be taking a look into international law and the basic principles such as sovereignty and international jurisdiction, among others. Democracy is defined as a political system in which the government is controlled by the citizens either directly or through elections. Democracy has European roots and is strongly used in Northern and Western Europe. In a democracy, every citizen has a voice, and this is through the elections. But democracy cannot exist without at least two parties. Once officials are elected, it is their duty to make decisions for the betterment of the people. Representatives usually have two-term limits, meaning they will limit the amount of power the government has because officials can only be in certain positions for a short period of time. Adolf Hitler, Joseph Stalin, and Mussolini ran a totalitarian government. Totalitarianism is a political system in which there is only one representative party, which exhibits control over every facet of political and human life. Political repression and denial of rights and civil liberties are dominant ideals. If there is an opposition to government, the response is imprisonment, or even worse, often torture is used. This may be used as a form of rehabilitation or simply a warning to people who oppose the government. Because only one party within each entity exists, there are many forms of totalitarian government. The most common is communist totalitarianism. Most dictatorships under the Communist Party disintegrated in 1989, but there are still some communist governments found in the world today, namely Cuba, North Korea, Laos, Vietnam, and China. The political environment in China is very complex because of the government's desire to balance national immediate needs with the challenges of a free market. A lot of companies shy away from dealing with totalitarian governments unless highly profitable or necessary. Core foundations of international law are Islamic law, socialist law, common law, and civil or code law. Starting with Islamic law, this is a law derived from the interpretations of the Quran and the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad. It is found in most Islamic countries in the Middle East and Central Asia. Socialist law comes from the Marxist socialist system and continues to influence regulations in former communist countries, especially those from former Soviet Union, as well as present-day China, Vietnam, North Korea, and Cuba. Since socialist law requires most property to be owned by the state or state-owned enterprises, MNCs have traditionally shied away from these countries. Third, we have common law. This comes from English law, and it is the foundation of the legal system in the United States, Canada, England, Australia, New Zealand, and other nations. Fourth, we have civil or code law. This law is derived from Roman law and is found in the non-Islamic, non-socialist countries such as France, some countries in Latin America, and even Louisiana in the United States. What is privatization? Privatization occurs when a government-owned business, operation, or property becomes owned by a private, non-government party. The purpose for privatization is to reduce the cost of goods and services by allowing access to private businesses to the industry and thus creating a healthy competition between them, which compete among themselves to provide good quality. Some advantages of privatization are efficient use of resources. The private sector uses resources much more efficiently than the public sector. Also, healthy competition. Giving access to private sector creates equal opportunity for all and results in healthy competition. Another advantage to privatization is reduced burden on the government. The government loses money on a lot of businesses where they could just sell it off instead. Also, another advantage, chances of monopoly are eliminated. Privatization removes the chance of government monopoly in a particular industry. So, privatization is important for an economy as it allows opportunities for businesses and thus allows healthy competition. And it works in many different ways, but a particular business or industry is transferred to a private sector, it helps the government to increase efficiency in those industries and increase the quality of work.
Hi guys, my name is Blanca and I'm going to be talking about technology. Technology is making a huge impact on our daily lives. We now have computers, telephones, televisions, and wireless phones to help us be able to communicate with one another more easier and to inform us about what's going on in the world. For example, in this like in the social media, what's going on in Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. Like we were saying, it's one of the most popular apps. The internet is one of the most important sources for all of the technologies in order for everything to work. Without the internet, we won't have access to use these multiple social medias, as I mentioned. So technology is advancing more, and of course, it's making it easier for us to communicate all around the world. So for this slide, I'm going to be talking about innovation. So the innovation is since the technology has been advancing, it has two great programs called Dark Spark program and CHIP. So for the first program called Dark Spark program, it's in 165 countries for all students. This program was also launched in the United States and United Kingdom. So they made this program because their personal goal was to create a new generation of adaptive programmers. So this provided a great resource for all students to have great access of new technology with no charge. This program is to even help all students in their academic success. The other great program called CHIP was made in California. Their goal of providing world process and internet access for people in low income areas. The cost of this computer was about $9, even including affordable and faster way of shipment. The chip program has great qualifications that is described similar as the smartphone. It has 4 GB hard drive, 512 megabytes of RAM. It's low price, it's affordable, and it has Wi-Fi capacity. So biotechnology innovations is defined as a combination of science and technology. It focuses more on the creation of agriculture and medical products. An example would be a laboratory engineer because it will help diagnose and help cure diseases. So overall, this will help to save a lot of people who are really sick and ill. This There is also a lot of pharmaceutical competition between multiple countries such as China, Swiss, and India. The most popular pharmaceutical is India and its name is Rambox Company. Its company is good because they are known for product effect and affordable drugs. Other pharmaceutical companies are different. They go based off organic chemistry, meaning it's the study of the body structure. So for telecommunications, I'm going to be talking about technology leapfrogging, country mobile devices usage, and government limiting social internet medias and conversations. So technology has become an important element not only in the US but globally. Although the usage for the mobile communication has changed by the increase and decrease of the population of the countries. One of the main communications is the internet access. As cell phones have become more popular, it has been easier to access the internet websites such as social medias, for example, Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, or other social medias. With the mobile communications, people are able to be in touch with others worldwide, allowing people to have a stronger communication. The economic growth has allowed more people to purchase smartphones, allowing the technology to expand on telecommunications. On the other hand, there are many countries who are less wealthy and have struggled to invest on this type of communication, such as Africa, European countries, and South Africa. And now I'm going to pass it on to my partner Erica, and she'll be talking about technology advances.
Hello, my name is Erica Mata. Today I'll be talking about outsourcing. Outsourcing is an agreement in which one company hires another company to be responsible for a plan or existing activity that is or could be done internally and sometimes involves transferring employees and assets from one firm to another. An example of outsourcing could be where a company hires cleaning services where people come in and they clean their buildings for them. Another example would be RPO, which is also known as recruitment process outsourcing. RPO is a specialty within recruitment where an external provider acts as the company's internal recruitment function for a portion of all of its jobs. The recruiters may work virtually or on-site at the client's office location on a fully outsourced, on-demand project base. Some of the best top outsourcing services and best companies would be, number one is a call center service. The Filipinos have been known to be warm and proficient in English and familiar with the Western culture for a very long time. This may be some of the reasons why companies are still going to the Philippines when it comes to call center services, lead generations, customer support, tech support, inbound and outbound calls, telemarketing are just some of the services that they can offer. The leading companies for this field are as follows: Teletech, Magellan Solutions, and Global Sky. Another outsourcing company is e-commerce services. These services are usually for businesses who want to expand their reach through digital media, retail businesses, and startups. These BPO companies are the best options to outsource work for your e-commerce business. Another example of outsourcing would be for IT services. Almost all businesses today need an efficient IT infrastructure to conduct their operations and enhance their data security. Luckily, there are numerous IT outsourcing services in the Philippines that can help you from data center management to server administration. Some of the best BPO companies for outsourcing services are eCloud Value, Main Source 365 Tech. These are all just examples of the many outsourcing jobs there is for a business to run efficiently. Offshoring is a relocation of a business process from one country to another, typically an operation process such as manufacturing or supporting processes such as an accounting. Usually this refers to a company business, although state governments may also employ offshoring. Most recently, technical and admin services have been offshored. Some offshoring examples are when goods are imported from foreign markets to domestic markets by the retailers. Import inputs and raw materials from cheaper markets. A lot of U.S. companies are offshoring. Some of the top are Apple, Microsoft, Cisco, Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, and Merck. Another example of offshoring outsourcing is when companies hire call centers, help desk, and finance accounting services for the organization internal operations. These are all examples of offshore outsourcing. Infrastructure and technology outsourcing services generally include services that support an organization such as networking, technology services, and support. This concludes our Chapter 2 semester project. Thank you so much for taking the time and looking over our PowerPoint. We would love for y'all to use the Chapter 2 Kahoot link. It's a fun and interactive activity for y'all to do regarding our Chapter 2 semester project. Please feel free to leave any feedback you have regarding our PowerPoint, and we hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much. Listed below is a list of our references. Thank you for taking the time to review our PowerPoint.